As a kindergarten teacher, the mathematical ideas that I see, the most salient thing that I see is that kids are working on problem solving. So the Common Core Standards talks a lot about these mathematical practices like making sense of a problem and persevering to find a solution. That's mirrored in the blocks because figuring out how to build something is a problem and kids have to make sense of that problem and come up with a plan to build it. And then they have to try out their plan, and very often if it doesn't work, they need to make adjustments and persevere to get to their end goal, which is the structure. And they can ask questions like, what size block do I need? What shape should the block be? What can I use if that shape is not available? That last question actually lets them test out this idea of equivalence. With unit blocks in particular, they are all related. So if they need a really long block, which is like a quadruple unit, and it's not available, they will eventually figure out that they can use 2 double units to meet the same goal. When they try out their solutions, they're noticing and comparing the attributes of blocks, which is a big standard in kindergarten according to the Common Core. And then students go from building bridges to making enclosures, and then the task becomes trying to figure out which blocks fit together to be successful at making that enclosure. And again, they have to look at the attributes of blocks, and they need to figure out which shapes fit together and which shapes don't to accomplish their goal. When my students are cleaning up blocks, I see them looking at the shapes and comparing the shapes to the shapes that are on the shelf and trying to figure out where they go. I see them stacking the shapes, and I see them putting shapes together, putting 2 triangles together to make a square. And that's because the way that I have the shelf set up, it encourages that. They might notice that 2 triangles make a square while they're cleaning up, and then later on, when there are no more square blocks available, I've seen them use that as a substitute. And this is one of the reasons why block play has to continue beyond preschool into kindergarten, and I would say even 1st and 2nd grade, because kids need to go through an exploratory process to get to know the blocks, just like we would with any other tool that we use for math. And once they have that familiarity, then they can actually start to think strategically about how to use them.